You know, if you're Prince Harry, you might say that truly you just never truly give up, do you? You know what I'm saying? You would have thought, given his past couple of weeks, and for me, you know, forget the Daily Mail court case, right, chums? I think that's a mess. But everybody who knew anything about that knew that that was going to be a mess.
Harry has publicly invited his father to the Invictus Games in Birmingham. Stand by me. Come to the games. Show the world that you support this cause and this family. On the surface, it is a simple enough ask. A son inviting his father to watch veterans compete. A former prince inviting a king to attend an event that celebrates military service. But underneath that simple surface is a problem that Harry has created for his father, and a contradiction that the past several weeks have made impossible to ignore. Because the question is not whether the king wants to support Invictus. He does. He always has. The question is whether Harry has done the work that would make attending a straightforward decision. And the answer to that is considerably more complicated. What the work actually required. Let's be honest about what promoting Invictus in Birmingham actually demands from the person who is supposed to be its most visible champion. When Harry came to the UK last month for the game's launch, for the Highgrove meeting, for the legal proceedings, he had an extended window, a chance to be here, present, active, to meet with companies, to press flesh, to walk into boardrooms, and make the case for why a business should put its name and its money behind the games. That is what an ambassador does. That is the work. What Harry did instead was give an interview on a popular morning television program, sit on a podcast where the most discussed element was something he said about his morning routine, and attend a Highgrove meeting that generated no official photograph and no public statement. The gap between what was needed and what was done is significant. Invictus Birmingham needs sponsors. It needs significant financial backing from companies that are not yet committed. And companies make those decisions based on one calculation above all others. What does the association with this event cost me, and what does it give me back? The cost side of that calculation got considerably heavier over the past month. A failed legal case, the whitewash comment about the justice system, a podcast that generated commentary focused almost entirely on the wrong things. None of that made a company's decision to back Invictus easier. The Highgrove meeting, and why it didn't help. The 47-minute meeting at Highgrove was supposed to be the emotional foundation of this phase of the campaign. The image of a son reconnecting with a seriously ill father. The suggestion of a family coming back together around the thing Harry cares most about. It produced nothing of the kind. No official photograph, no statement, no acknowledgement from the palace that could be turned into momentum for Invictus. What it produced instead was a People magazine version of events. Warm, vague, and impossible to verify. And a Meghan who described the meeting privately as a whole lot of nothing, because it delivered none of the public validation she was seeking. Now, into that context comes the public invitation to the king. And here is the position that invitation creates. If the king does not attend in any form, it reads as a failure to support a major national sporting event for veterans. In the current media climate, that is a story that writes itself in ways that are unhelpful for the monarchy. If he attends or sends a video message or makes any kind of public acknowledgement of the games, it will be presented by certain publications with certain sources as royal endorsement of Harry's return, of the Sussex operation, of everything the palace has spent years carefully not endorsing. Neither option is comfortable, and Harry, whether he fully understands it or not, has put his father in that position. The Labour government dimension. There is a political dimension to this that is worth noting. Birmingham is being managed under a Labour administration. The local political landscape is not royalist in the traditional sense for a Labour government, nationally or locally. An Invictus Games that draws royal attendance, generates positive coverage, and connects the monarchy to a genuinely popular cause involving military veterans is not straightforwardly unwelcome. These things play across political lines in ways that are not always predictable. The Home Secretary, who represents a Birmingham constituency, has her own calculations to make about how visible she wants to be at this event. All of which means the political context around Invictus is more complex than a simple question of whether the king comes or not. A video address, the king speaking directly to the opening or closing ceremony, present in spirit if not in person, would thread several needles simultaneously. It would acknowledge the games without creating the appearance of full royal endorsement of everything surrounding them. It would give Harry something, but not everything. That is, in my honest assessment, the most likely outcome. A carefully worded, warm, dignified acknowledgement from the king that honors what Invictus represents without committing the institution to a position on the Sussexes' broader situation. What Harry should have done. This is the part of the story that, when you look at it clearly, is the most straightforwardly frustrating. Harry had his children in the UK this month. Archie visited Althorpe. Lilibet was present. They were here. If there was ever a moment to introduce those children to the public, to the cameras, to the Invictus story in a way that was natural and genuinely compelling, it was in Birmingham at the launch of these games. Archie, 7 years old, standing alongside veterans. The intergenerational nature of service and sacrifice and pride. A moment that would have written its own story and generated its own warmth. Instead, the children were used for a private visit to a grave. Beautiful and appropriate in its own right, but not the thing that fills a stadium and brings in sponsors and gives a king a reason to send a video message that does not come with complications. The opportunity was there. The strategy to use it was not. And now, in August, in what Harry himself is apparently describing as a dead media period, the invitation to the king is the tool being deployed to generate interest that should have been built more carefully over the preceding months. The Commonwealth Games comparison. This weekend, William and Catherine attended the Commonwealth Games in Scotland. Prince Louis, in the way that only Louis can, did what Louis does. Utterly himself, entirely unmanageable, completely delightful. The coverage generated was warm, human, and entirely positive. A family that is present. A family that shows up. A family that brings its children to these moments and lets them be children. That is the template. That is what Invictus could have had. The contrast with how Harry's UK visit played out is not comfortable to look at, but it is honest. The games are in Birmingham. They will happen. Veterans will compete. Stories will be told that deserve to be told. Whether the king attends, sends a video, or maintains a careful distance will be decided by the people around him who understand what each option costs and what it gives. Whether William and Catherine attend, and my honest assessment is that they will not, will be decided the same way. What Harry needs right now, more than an invitation accepted or declined, is a period of quiet, consistent, competent work in service of a cause that deserves better than the commercial calculations that have surrounded it. The veterans competing in Birmingham did not choose any of this. They deserve a clean stage. Whether they get one depends, as it often does, on choices made by adults who are thinking about things that have nothing to do with those veterans. Harry invited the king. The king's position is indelicate as a result. The games are coming. The sponsors are not yet committed. The work that was needed has not been done. And somewhere in Birkhall, a 78-year-old man with cancer is trying to decide whether a video message serves the veterans or serves his son's situation, or both, or neither. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think the king attends in any form? And do you think Invictus Birmingham can succeed without senior royal backing? Like the video if it gave you the clearer picture. Subscribe to stay with the story. Take care. See you very soon.